I support scouting for a couple of reasons. First is personal reason. I participated in scouts as a young man and got a lot out of the program, great leadership training and great adventures at scout camp and at Philmont and camping all over the Texas Panhandle. And then also I had the opportunity to participate in the scouts with son Matthew. And we had a fantastic time, much like I did as a young person. And he got great leadership training and great training on skills in the outdoors and that he can use in life after scouting. Yeah, the Good Scout Lunch is the main fundraiser for the Boy Scouts and how they are able to provide programs to the youth in our local communities. And you think about Scouts and you think about leadership training, some of the best character training available in our community.
There's no one way to explore the world. My way is to push myself and never take the easy road.
I prefer a road that winds through forests and goes up mountains because I've always been an adventurer at heart. That's why I can't wait to be a scout.
Because scouting will guide me to great things. It won't just teach me to navigate the woods with confidence, but it'll give me the confidence to navigate the world.
I'll enter the Scouts as the best version of myself today and will grow into the best version of myself for my future.
Scouting will show me how to use bravery, trustworthiness, loyalty, and kindness to become a person I'm proud to be.
Because there's no one way to explore the world, and my way is in the Scouts. So
scout me in.
Scouting has been fundamental and a blessing for my family. I have two boys, Will and Luke, both started out very early and as Cub Scouts, worked from Cub Scouts through Webelos, ultimately into Boy Scouts and earned the rank of Eagle. The thing that I think that is so important right now, especially in our community, is time is so valuable. We're torn in so many different directions at work, so many activities for our kids to do. Scouting always made us. We'd always say, hey, we're gonna go camping next weekend. We're gonna go do this, we're gonna go do that. And life got in the way. But with Scouts, it was a structured event, structured times of places and locations. And lo and behold, every month we did get to go camping. We did get to meet weekly and work on things. As they moved out in their scouting adventure, the kids and the friendships, both the parent level and the Scouts, are critical. Like-minded folks doing like-minded things for the betterment of our youth is critical right now. And there's never been a time where our kids need to break away from the streets, break away from all the social, and just get back outside and do things that our kids are supposed to do. We're supposed to sit around a campfire and tell those stories. They're supposed to have s'mores and cobbler. We're supposed to just be in the woods and experience it. We're so isolated now in the cities and so isolated online or with video games and different things that we're losing that critical piece of what makes us human.
Scouting opens up a lot of opportunities. I mean, you can do scouting anywhere, in a small town or in a big city like New York.
We are teaching young people how to become better adults. And I think those better adults who have a scouting experience can come back and be great Scout leaders.
I'm extremely thankful for Scouting, for igniting a passion in me for the outdoors and just exposing me to things that I didn't even know I loved to do, that I do all the time now.
I first got started in Scouting in a co-adventuring crew, and really quickly I began to see the impact that Scouting had on kids.
When I see the Scouts come in for the first time, a lot of them are new to the country, so it gives us an opportunity to show them what Scouting has to offer. More importantly, their role as citizens here in the United States through leadership.
Our trip's pretty diverse, and so it's really fun to see Scouts who, their families don't have a history of camping or being outdoors, and they're new to the Scouting program.
It built a lot of my character and who I am today, who's really good into servant leadership and serving community service to our communities.
One of the great things about Scouting is just that it's a safe place to fail.
One of the biggest gifts that we can give our son is the gift of independence, and Scouting has provided that platform.
My prayer is that when he is older, he'll say, "Thank you, Mother, for putting me in Scouting."
Well, and so why do I support Scouting? Well, Scouting has been part of my life for as long as I can remember. I was Cub Scout, Boy Scout, my son Cub Scout, Boy Scout, and so it's been a big part of everything I've done for years. I think, looking back, I have some of the fondest memories of just the fun I had, but even more, it also gave me a lot of skills that have taken me to where I am in my life currently, which is leadership skills, being part of a team, working together, understanding the importance of being a good follower, and also being a good leader. And so in my son, the same way. So I think that's the biggest thing, is it's just given me valuable life skills. Now, what is it for our community? It is just a wonderful way of giving children in our community opportunities that maybe they wouldn't otherwise have. I mean, the opportunities to go out in Mother Nature, learn skill sets that we wouldn't otherwise have. How to tie knots, how to navigate a canoe, to how to perform first aid. And so it gives very, very valuable opportunities for kids that may not have those. And second, just like I was talking about, is it gives them a skill set in terms of leadership and being a team member that otherwise it is important part of their development as an adult. And so these are skill sets that take them into later years and will allow them to be successful whatever they do with the skills of living a scout.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Jody Holland, and I've had the honor of being the Golden Spread Council Good Scout Lunch Chair for 2023. I'm a local business owner providing leadership development to companies throughout the state of Texas, as well as anywhere else I get the chance to go. As an OA member, a Wood Badge graduate, and a former Scout myself, I've benefited greatly from the programs, adventures, and character development that Scouting offers. I've learned to lead, organize, plan, step outside of my comfort zone, and persist through various experiences in Scouting, both as a youth and now as an adult and volunteer. I'm proud to be among those who have been in the program as well as those who have invested in the next generation of leaders. Scouting has a rich history of building the potential of others. A few of the positive benefits that I've seen in Scouting are that Scouts are taught leadership skills through their participation in group activities and by working with other Scouts. They learn to plan and organize events, communicate effectively, and make decisions as a team. Scout Oath and the Scout Law teach young people to be trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Scouts learn valuable outdoor skills such as camping, hiking, and cooking. They also learn about conservation and taking care of nature. Scouts are encouraged to give back to their communities through service projects. This gives them a sense of civic responsibility and community leadership. Scouts learn to set goals and work towards achieving those goals. They're also exposed to new experiences and challenges that help them grow and develop as individuals. Scouts form strong bonds and lifelong friendships with their peers, many of which will literally last their entire lives. Scouts also develop business acumen. They learn to make decisions, even under pressure. They learn to lead meetings, manage budgets, plan events, and even resolve conflicts from time to time. As a business owner, these are the very qualities that I seek in employees, and I would imagine that many of you are looking for the same things in the employees that you hire and recruit today. This is the reason that we're here today, to ensure that the right character, the right behaviors, the right drive, and ultimately the right preparation for the next generation of leaders is in place. We accomplish this by supporting this incredible scouting program through the Golden Spread Council. Thank you for taking your time to be here today and to spend it on such a worthy cause. I'd like to thank Shane Brooks, who is the table sponsor chair, Brian Bruckner, the table host chair, and of course the rest of the committee and the countless number of hours that were put into making this event possible. Today is a celebration of character. Today is a celebration of impact, and today is a celebration of community. We are celebrating America's largest character-building youth program that is now over 113 years old. Welcome to the 22nd Annual Good Scout Lunch. I would like to invite Troop 633 Scouts to deliver the invocation, the presentation of colors, and to lead the Eagle Charge.
Please join me in prayer. Dear Lord, thank you for this opportunity to come together as one and celebrate your many blessings. We pray for knowledge and guidance to our country's leadership. We pray for our military men and women who protect us, and the sacrifices made by the people who love them. Please bless the whole scouting community and those who support us. Watch over all the work we continue to do throughout the world. Straighten us as we live out our scout oath and law every day. Thank you for the people who have taken the time to travel and support our council. Bless them as they return to their homes. Let this event help strengthen our journey in scouting. We ask your blessing on our meal and the hands that have prepared it. We ask for all these things in your name, we pray. Amen.
Okay. Please rise for the presentation of the colors. Scouts, attention. Audience, attention. Color guard, forward march. Color guard, halt. Prepare to post the colors. Post the colors. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. 2. Please join me in the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the Scout law, help other people at all times, keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Please join me in the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Now we'd like anyone that is an Eagle Scout to please remain standing to reaffirm your Eagle Scout oath and charge. I reaffirm my allegiance to the 3 promises of the Scout Oath. I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, and to obey the Scout law. I realize that the Eagle rank is not the end, but the beginning. To this, I pledge my sacred honor.
Color guard be formed. About face, return the post. Color guard halt. Scouts these, audience these, color guard dismissed.
They did a fantastic job on that. Thank you very much, Troop 633, for such an outstanding job. Today we gather to do 4 things. Number 1, we're here to hear about the positive impacts that Scouting is making in our community. 2, to present 2 Good Scout Awards to 2 outstanding community partners that support Scouting and the Texas Panhandle with their time and with their talent. 3, to hear our keynote speaker, and I'm very excited about this, Terry L. Fossum. And lastly, to invest in the future leaders of our communities by pledging our financial support to our local Scouting program. This luncheon, the Golden Spread Council, and the youth it serves are very grateful for our community's long and generous support. Now, I'd like to introduce Aiden Cothran, the 2022 Eagle Scout Scholarship recipient, the Lodge Advisor for the Order of the Arrow. Please help me welcome him to the stage.
Today, I have the pleasure to tell you all about the Golden Spread Council that consists of 27 counties in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. Our council is served by 4 districts: Adobe Walls, Lone Wolf, Quanah Parker, and Golden Eagle. I think that Scouting is more important than ever. I can attest that it has provided me with the skills as a shy young man to go to Amarillo College as a freshman studying engineering, to be an active assistant den leader for the Bears of Pac 3, an assistant scoutmaster of Troop 87, the current lodge chief of the Nishaka Lodge and Lodge, and lastly, the youth representative for the council board of directors. Today is such an important day for our council, the 22nd annual Good Scout Lunch. Your support is what makes Scouting possible for people like me in the Texas and Oklahoma panhandles. As Scouts, we are committed to the values of the Scout Oath and Law, and know the importance of service to our community. The generous donations you give today will help continue the Eagle Scout Scholarship that helped me start my engineering degree. They will also help continue our Scout Reach after-school program that now benefits over 400 Scouts. Scout Reach gives special leadership and emphasis to urban and rural scouting programs. Scout Reach is the Golden Spread Council's commitment to make sure that all young people have an opportunity to join scouting regardless to their circumstances, neighborhood, or ethnic background. My Eagle project was a very significant but simple project. I built a prayer wall for my youth group, and for those that don't know what a prayer wall is a wall, as it says in the name, is a wall where youth in the youth group can write down their prayer on a piece of paper and stick it into this wall for a pastor or anybody to come and pray over this youth. This has helped the youth group in so many different ways because of the impact it has of being able to stay anonymous, but also being able to reach out and get prayed over for the many things that they need. Now I lost my spot. But the most important thing that we do as Scouts is fun with a purpose. My favorite story of Scouting is being a part of camp staff at MK Brown and camp staff at Camp Dawn many years ago. Being a part of staff is one of my favorite things to do, and everything I've done in Ever Scouting in my 12 years. You get to enjoy being with other youth, you get to teach, you get to learn new things from Scouts that you don't see on a daily basis. And it is the best thing that I could have ever done as a Scout. I want to thank you again for helping local Scouting, and it is now with my great pleasure that I introduce Troop 4086 to deliver the 2022 Golden Spread Council highlights.
Thank you, Aiden, and what an honor to be here. We are 4 of the girls out of many from Troop 4086, and now for the Golden Spread Council 2022 and Impact and Successes.
The 2022 Merit Badge University, held at West Texas University, was attended by 164 Scouts BSA members. The Scout BSA Camporee was attended by about 200 Scouts and volunteers at MK Brown. They had a great time competing against one another, but more importantly, they had fun.
Spookery attendance was attended by about 700 Cub Scout siblings, Lidos, and parents. This event took place at both Camp Dong Harrington and MK Brown Scout Camp. Scouts BSA members earned 1,841 merit badges, and Cub Scouts earned 858 rank advancements.
During our council-wide Scouting for Food event, over 72,840 meals were provided. Scouts performed 17,880 hours of community service, and lastly, we have had 42 new Eagle Scouts to wrap up 2022. Now, I will introduce Brian Tobler, the Scout Executive and CEO of the Golden Spread Council.
Well, it's exciting to see such a great crowd today. It's one of my favorite events, and it's a great reminder of the community support that we get right here in the Golden Spread Council. There's a lot of folks that make Scouting happen, and just briefly, I want to recognize 2 groups. We have a fantastic board. A list of our executive committee is in your program, but if you're a member of the Golden Spread Council board, will you please stand and be recognized? Another group of individuals I just wanted to recognize who've dedicated their lives to Scouting is our staff. And we have a fantastic staff. If you guys would also please stand now and be recognized. Of course, we're very grateful for all the table hosts, table sponsors, and everybody here that took time out of your day to be here with us. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to challenge everybody really quick to think back to when you were 15, 16, or 17 years old, and you have a Saturday that you've got to plan with your friends. All right. There's a catch. You have to plan the day. You have to invite and get everybody there. You have no budget, and you are in charge. So there's probably a lot of examples out there, maybe not all of them that we can share with everybody, of what you might do, but I thought of a couple of PG examples that I thought, what would my kids want to do today? Maybe go to Synergy or play video games, play basketball with their friends, or go to the mall. You know, some common teenage answers, I think. Did anybody here think about building a prayer wall for their church? What about a flag retirement deposit box? A sanctuary for birds, build a contemplation area for a cemetery, put in new patio benches for a local foundation, or build Special Olympics bowling and bocce ramps, renovate a hiking trail or a creek bed at a park, renovate a concession stand for your school, build a pergola for the Elks Lodge, put in new shelves for a public library, or maybe you wanted to do another project for your church, like repaint it, put in a new wheelchair ramp, update the landscaping, rebuild a rainwater collection system, and a new flagpole. I know those are very specific examples. Those specific things happened right here by our Eagle Scouts and the Golden Spread Council in 2022. We had 42 of those projects. We're very proud of our Scouts. They planned these projects, they managed them. They had zero budget and raised all funds necessary. They recruited the volunteers to help them see it through, and they made sure it was complete from start to finish. And there's good news. Scouting is strong right here in the Golden Spread Council. As you just heard, we had membership growth, increased community service, increased attendance, and we're strengthening core values in young people like duty to God and duty to country. So why are we here today, and why do you support Scouting? Well, it sums up to me as Scouting builds character and instills values in young people that not only shapes who they are today, but who they will become, and that's our future leaders. Thank you guys for being here today. We're so grateful to have you celebrate Scouting with us, and it is now my pleasure to please ask the President of Commercial and Corporate Banking for First Bank Southwest and our Council President, Will Miller, to please help present this year's Good Scout Awards. Thank you.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. First and foremost, I want to thank the Scouts. There's a room full of people here. And as a teenager, I don't know how many of you had been in front of 700 or 800 people and speak. That's an intimidating thing. My voice is shaky already, and I should be better at this by now. But thank you for the Scouts for doing this, being in front of this great crowd. Thank you for being here. Since 2002, the Golden Spread Council has presented the Good Scout Award annually to recognize those who make an impact in our community and quality of life. These recipients mirror the values of Scouting in their professional and personal lives and are great examples to our young people. The Good Scout Award is presented to foundations, corporations, organizations, and individuals who have a long-term history of significant support to our community, to the Panhandle, and to Scouting in the Golden Spread. At this time, I'd like to invite the Honorable Leanne Reno, the United States Magistrate Judge, to present our first award.
First of all, could I have Judge Clint Averitte join me on the stage? And as Judge Averitte comes up, I know this isn't on my script, Will, but as a lawyer, Judge was someone that I looked up to, and I know the rest of the legal community looked up to. As a point of personal privilege, I was fortunate enough to be named as his successor to the bench in 2017. And since that time, he has not only been a friend, but a fabulous mentor to me. So I could not be more honored and more proud than to introduce Judge Averitte to everyone. Judge grew up in Fort Worth, Texas, and attended public school there. He graduated from Eastern Hills High School in 1966. As a youth, Judge Averitte joined Boy Scout Troop 179 in Fort Worth. He served on the camp staff for the Longhorn Council at Leonard Scout Reservation in the summer of 1965, where he was a counselor for nature, astronomy, and rowing. He also was a staff member at the Longhorn Council Aquatic School. He is a vigil member of the Order of the Arrow and earned his Eagle Scout rank in 1964. Judge attended Texas Christian University from 1966 to 1968. He then went to University of Texas at Austin and graduated there in 1971. Following that, he enrolled in the SMU School of Law, where he graduated with his Juris Doctorate degree in 1974. Upon graduation, he was a member of the Order of the Coif, which means he graduated in the top 10% of his class at SMU. Judge was admitted to practice law in the state of Texas in 1974. He also was admitted to practice within the Northern District of Texas as well as the Fifth Circuit. In his professional career, Judge started out as an assistant attorney general for the for the state of Texas, serving as the chief in our Lubbock office from 1975 to 1977. He then went into private practice in Dallas with the firm of Hirsch, Martins, and Averitte. Following that, in 1979, he was an assistant district attorney where he was chief of the business crimes unit. He next became an assistant United States attorney for the Northern District of Texas from 1980 to 1987, where he served as chief of our Amarillo office for the last 2 years he was there. Then in 1987, he was appointed as the United States Magistrate Judge for the Northern District of Texas here in Amarillo, and he was reappointed numerous times until his retirement in 2017. As if that wasn't enough, Judge has also served on several boards and nonprofit groups. He has served on the Amarillo Bar Association board as president, the Amarillo Downtown Kiwanis Club as its president, and he is currently serving still on the Golden Spread Council of the Boy Scouts, where he served the council as president from 2014 to 2016. Judge received the Silver Beaver Award in 2015 from our own Golden Spread Council. He is married to the lovely Vicki L. Averitte, and they are members of First Presbyterian Church in Amarillo, where he has served 2 terms as an elder. It is my great pleasure to recognize my friend, Judge Clint Averitte, as a 2023 Good Scout Lunch Award recipient.
Judge Averitte, congratulations. It's been a pleasure to serve with Judge Averitte on the board, and I will say he's a master of the boardroom. He keeps us straight, and he keeps us on task, and with the whole being of keeping what's good for scouting in the front of his mind. And so, Judge, thank you, and congratulations. Our next recipient, Clay, would you come up, please? Clay Stribling is the president and CEO of the Amarillo Area Foundation. Most of you know him and know their good work at the foundation. The Amarillo Area Foundation history goes way back into 1957 when they started to address the healthcare needs of our area. The foundation made the dream a reality by establishing Amarillo's Medical Center. The medical center, now named the Harrington Regional Medical Center, specializes and a wide range of services, making the Panhandle home to a world-class medical center. The Harrington Regional Medical Center keeps Panhandle families close to home while they face challenges regarding their health, and we're so appreciative for them being here. As the Panhandle needs changed, the foundation changed. In the 1960s, the foundation expanded its leadership role through discretionary grant making as a vehicle for improving the quality of life in the Texas Panhandle. In the 1970s, the first scholarship fund was established to support students from our area in their pursuit of higher education. Quick statistic, as of recently, they've helped grant almost $10 million in scholarships to students, over 7,000 recipients. I mean, that's such a huge benefit to our area and such an example of how generous everybody is. In 1988, the foundation received the most significant gift in its history. The Dawn and Sybil Harrington Foundation and its $68 million in assets changed from a private foundation to a public supporting organization. This support allowed the Amarillo Area Foundation to expand its programs. Most recently, in the 1990s and 2000s, the foundation expanded its role beyond fundraiser and grant maker, working with nonprofits in its nonprofit center while facilitating several other successful programs. So many of you know them and know Clay and know his group and his staff, and they're such important partners of ours. Many of you probably gave to the Panhandle Gives. If you didn't, you should. It's just this year, I mean, what Amarillo Area Foundation has allowed our community to prove is how generous we are. And this year, or 22, they raised $8.8 million through the Panhandle Gives. I mean, almost $3 million over their goal. I mean, the most interesting thing to me, beyond just the almost $9 million, is the per giving unit in Amarillo and through the Amarillo Area Foundation was the biggest in the country. The biggest campaign, I'm not sure what city it was, averaged $7 a giver. We average almost 3 times that for the Amarillo Area Foundation. It's because of them, and it's because of where we live, and it's because of all the great things that happen here. So that generosity for us in scouting and the Golden Council is very much appreciated and recognized. So Clay, we'd like to give the Amarillo Area Foundation our Good Scout Award.
As a community foundation, we're a slightly different animal than most foundations you might know. We are a reflection of the generosity and the passion of the donors to our organization. And when it comes to scouting, there are 2 names that just have to be mentioned if I'm going to come up here and talk. Sybil Harrington was among the most generous donors to the Scouts in the history of the organization, the Golden Spread Council. And she loved coming, even when she lived in Phoenix or New York. She loved coming to see her boys and to see her Scouts and to get to know them personally. And so I would be remiss if I didn't mention Mrs. Harrington. And more recently, Mac Dick. Mac Dick was a very generous donor to the foundation and to the Golden Spread Council. The dining hall at Camp Dawn is named after him. So on behalf of the Amarillo Area Foundation Board of Directors, I'm very happy to accept this award, and thank you very much.
It's now my honor to introduce our keynote speaker. Terriel Fossum has been active in scouting more on than off for nearly 50 years. As an adult, he's served in pretty much every position from Scoutmaster to Council President. He's a Vigil Honor member of the Order of the Arrow and a Silver Beaver. As a former officer in the United States Air Force, his military honors include Officer of the Year for Fairchild Air Force Base, Distinguished Graduate from Squadron Officer School, and Humanitarian of the Year for all of Strategic Air Command. His business career led him to develop highly successful sales teams all around the globe. He is an actor and producer, winning the Best Supporting Actor and Fan Favorite at the 2021 Christian Film Festival, among other honors. He has authored 4 highly acclaimed books, the latest of which was named the #1 bestseller on the Wall Street Journal, Amazon, and Barnes & Noble bestseller lists. He performs business training and keynote speaking across the U.S. and in different parts of the world. Hobbies include composing music, martial arts, where he's a black belt, and wilderness adventures in places like solo backpacking deep into the Arctic Circle, treks in Africa, survival in the Amazon jungle, among others. Recently, he represented all of Boy Scouts of America, winning Kicking and Screaming, a survival reality show pitting 10 survival experts against each other in a jungle, while teamed up, get this, with a complete novice. Before we bring him up, let's join Terry in the jungle.
Tonight,
Please watch the champagne.
10 total divas are packing their bags for the adventure
Welcome to the jungle.
Oh my God, you're Louie.
of a lifetime.
Ew.
They must survive a merciless jungle, paired with hardcore survivalists.
We even have the Boy Scouts of America.
I don't only wear my Boy Scout uniform out here, I wear my Boy Scout uniform proudly in my heart.
10 teams of total opposites battle
and leading people who had no idea about anything
for $500,000. It all starts now. Kicking and screaming.
You are paired with your total opposite.
He's a Boy Scout, and I play video games for a living.
Terry's a Boy Scout master, and he takes that seriously. I mean, I know he's representing everything, but, you know, I mean, I was kind of done with that when I was a little kid, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
It is a race. Oh my goodness.
Jeremy.
At the prize challenge, Terry and Natalie collided.
This is helping. I think this is helping.
But they hugged it out in the elimination challenge. The winners here, Terry and Natalie.
A team united.
The Boy Scout connects. Terry and Natalie, you have won the challenge and will return to camp with ultimate power.
Ultimate power! Attitude is everything. The boys on my troop are going to laugh their butts off at this.
Definitely wish I could have brought my dog.
Ah.
I wish I could have him.
He would have been tasty.
No! He's moving now! Okay, they're both moving.
They're both moving.
I'm so sorry! Leave!
Now!
First team that will be going to the finals, Terry and Natalie.
We're definitely the comeback kids. We're in the final! Come on, Terry.
I throw the first spear, and I miss. I throw the second spear.
Terry now just throwing the spears, and he has the splint.
I go insane.
Natalie climbing up, Terry right behind her. Natalie lighting the cauldron ablaze. Woo!
Is it in?
We have fire and we have a winner. Terry and Natalie, you are the kicking and screaming champions, and you have earned $500,000.
There's no way in the world this was going to happen, and it just happened.
Winning the whole competition is not only life-changing for us, but I feel like it should be a story for everyone.
Yeah.
We can go through the fighting and come back together and work together. If we can do that, anyone can do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, Terry L. Fossum.
Thanks so much. Well, howdy, y'all. I cannot tell you how great it is to be back in the great state of Texas here. Yeah. No, I'm serious. But a few minutes before I got on the airplane in Spokane, Washington, I was shoveling several inches of snow out of my driveway. A few minutes after I got here to Texas, well, I was doing this. It's good to be back. And here I am with 700 of probably some of the best people on the face of the earth. And I got to tell you, I mean that. Y'all don't realize, but you're heroes to me. And I'm prior military. We don't just throw that word hero around. But let me ask you something. What is a hero? A hero is someone who sacrifices of themselves for the good of others. Is that right? Yeah, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Someone who sacrifices themselves for the good of others. And that's exactly what you're doing right here. So you don't realize this, but you made a profound impact on my life. You and others like you changed the course of my life forever. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to tell a story, just a scouting story. And I know it's just one of millions and millions of scouting stories out there just like it, but it's the one I know the best because it's my story. Would that be all right? Good, I appreciate that. Thank you for that, I appreciate that. Yeah, it gets lonely up here, so I appreciate the interaction. Well, in order to tell that, we're going to have to go way back. In fact, we're going to have to go way back. This is a picture of me in my daddy's arms. And this is a picture of me and my two brothers. Now, you might wonder which one I am. Well, you see the taller, better-looking, more distinguished-looking one? Yeah, that ain't me. You see the little one? Looks like he's about to get in a whole lot of trouble. That would be me. And we were born in a place called McAllen, Texas. Now, who here has heard of McAllen, Texas? Yeah. Most of y'all have. You know, I travel the country. A lot of people go, they've never heard of McAllen, Texas, until I point out, yes, they have. That place where all the border crossings are going on and all the challenges and all this. Did y'all know that McAllen, Texas is actually the poorest city in the entire United States of America? Did you know that? The poorest city. And don't get me wrong, I love my hometown. I really love my hometown. But it can be a little rough growing up there sometimes with the gangs and the drugs. In fact, my house was on the front page of the newspaper just the other day. My house. Would y'all like to see it? Thank you for that. I appreciate that. Well, you can't quite see it because of the crime scene investigation unit right in front of it. But you can see the house next door. See, the house next door was the drug house. And apparently what happened here is the drug people inside the house owed the drug people outside the house a lot of money. There's an armed standoff, cordon off my entire neighborhood. Home. I'll never forget one night. I was 14 years old. So picture the age of a new scout, 14 years old. I was in my backyard one night, and I heard a noise in my back alley. Now, if you're from my neighborhood and you hear a noise, you check it out, right? So I jump over my back fence with all the bluster of a 14-year-old boy. Dun, dun, dun. Now, understand, that's a really bad idea. You don't want to be in my back alley at that time of night. But it got worse. It got worse when all of a sudden, these headlights hit me. Now that's bad because headlights, of course, means a car. A car probably means an adult. An adult in my back alley at that time of night, there's a drug deal going on, or a robbery, or something much, much worse. None of which they want a 14-year-old witness to. And there I was, completely exposed. Now that's bad, but it got worse. It got a lot worse. When the guy walked out in front of those headlights with the assault rifle and aimed it right at me. 14 years old, staring down the barrel of an assault rifle, wondering if my next breath would be my last. See, that's when I was in junior high. When I was in high school, my father, my dad, was killed. Before he died, one of the neighbors came up to him and said, I just want to make sure you understand something. I want to make sure you understand something. Those 3 boys of yours, your 3 sons, not a single one of them will ever grow up to be anything. So that's my background. That's where I come from. People see me on TV or in movies or he's an author, all that. I don't even know who that guy is. All I know is that I'm from the poorest city in the entire country. single parent, never going to grow up to be anything. But there's something he didn't know. We had something that he didn't have. We had you. We had you. We had heroes like you that gave a flip about a kid like me. A kid you'd never meet. You'd never know my name. I'd never know your name. But you have a profound impact for the rest of my life. Because you gave us scouting. I'll never forget putting on that Cub Scout uniform. I still remember putting on that uniform, the blue and gold. We talk about blue and gold banquets like it's no big deal. I want to promise you it's a huge deal. Let me ask you this. Are gangs recruiting at this age right here? Yes, they are. Yes, they are. I was going to be part of some organization, right? I was going to be part of some group. I was going to wear somebody's colors, but thank God you gave me the colors of blue and gold that I proudly wore instead of the other ones being offered to me. And then I got into scouting. And scouting is the coolest thing ever, man. I love it because we got to go on awesome adventures. We got to go to cool places like Philmont Scout Ranch and like out of Ely, Minnesota, all these awesome places. And we got to have adventures and do awesome things. And you guys taught me something called the Scout Oath and the Scout Law, which is a whole different credo than they're teaching at the corner of 5th and La Vista. And I mentioned Philmont Scout Ranch. Who here has heard of Philmont Scout Ranch? Help me out. Yeah! Philmont is awesome, isn't it? For those that don't know what it is, it's this huge high adventure base in the Sangre de Cristo Mountains of New Mexico. And I went on this special trek. We did over 200 miles. Over 200. We did a 50-miler in one day. One day. Full packs in the mountains. Now, I'm a small guy. I was smaller then. I didn't have the strength in me to do it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't finish it. We started before dawn, guys. We're going through the mountains. It's hot all day long. We're still hiking long after the sun set. Midnight, we're still going on. I couldn't do it. I couldn't take the next step. But at that life-defining moment, you taught me that I had more strength in me than I knew I had. At that life-defining moment, you taught me that the impossible is only impossible if I say it is. People ask how I've done all of these things that I've done because nothing's impossible, because you taught me I could do it. And then I got to be on camp staff. I got to camp out or sleep out at Camp Dawn last night. Is that place amazing? The place is amazing. It's fun. Yeah, you bet. And I love summer camp because you're fully immersed in scouting for an entire week. And what I love about that is you get to act like an idiot, right? We get to sing stupid songs and do stupid skits, Father Abraham, right? But that's important because I didn't have to act cool. I didn't have to act bad. And my major male role model was dead. But you gave me a whole lot of other major male role models that taught me it was not only okay to be trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, being cheerful, all those things, but it was expected of me. That's the way I was to live my life. And then I got my Eagle Scout. And just like you heard today, at that moment in my life, yet another life-defining moment, you taught me that I was to live the rest of my life representing scouts everywhere. You gave me an oath and a charge. And these merit badges matter. I got my citizenship in the community merit badge. So I became an officer in the United States Air Force. In fact, I became the executive officer for an entire group of nuclear B-52 bombers. Is that crazy? Yeah. Each one of these things fully loaded was approximately the 6th most powerful nation on the face of the earth. Each one of them. We had 19 of them. I can say that number now. It's no longer classified. And I'll never forget being in battle staff one day. Battle staff, it's like the war room in the movies, right? That big room with the table and the classified boards and all that kind of stuff. It really exists. We call it the battle staff. I had a chair in the battle staff, me. And I will never forget sitting there one day and looking around and going, I can't believe I'm here right now. And at that moment, I looked around again. And I thought back to that dark alley and that assault rifle. And the fact that I was never going to grow up to be anything. And I thanked God for you. I thanked God for you and heroes like you that gave a flip about a kid like me. And then you heard that I got into business, and things went really, really well for me. I ended up doing very well with teams all around the world. But you taught me through the Order of the Arrow, the honor organization, that it's not about me. It's not about lavishing luxuries upon myself, but it's about lifting the burden of others. So when I heard about Malawi, Africa. Now, Malawi, Africa is the poorest country in all of Africa, and that's saying something, right? Listen, there was a child dying of malnourishment every 6 seconds. Every 6 seconds. Every 6. So we started up a training center where what we would do, we'd bring in families from all the outlying villages. We keep them there for an entire year, for an entire growing season. And we teach them how to better grow crops. And then the next year, it was their job to go back out to those villages and teach those villages. And we'd follow up with them, make sure they're doing all right, make sure they're teaching the other people. And listen, this is important. As of a few years ago, there hasn't been a single death due to malnourishment in the entire nation of Malawi. Is that amazing? See, when you give today, when you give to scouting anytime during the year, every single penny will be right here. Every single penny stays here and helps scouting in this area. You're going to help kids right here. But the benefits literally reverberate around the world because scouts give back. I will argue that out of all of and feel free to disagree with me, that's okay. I will argue that the best place you can donate money is to scouting because scouts give back to these other organizations. Scouts give back to these projects throughout their life. They teach others. They teach their kids to give back. The multiplying effect on your donation is incalculable. And then now I get to go all around the world. And I speak to companies, to organizations, and I help them grow. I help them navigate all the changes that they have to navigate to go on. I help them have their employees work together better. And let me ask you something. Where did I learn how to speak in public? Help me out. In scouting, absolutely. Like this young man right here and those others. That's life-changing. I will never forget speaking to a crowd this big at his age. That was the first part I went, the point I went, wow, maybe I could do this. And it's kind of worked out. But it all starts here in scouting. And then, let's go and bring up the next slide for me, if you will. There we go. These are my two boys. And they recently turned Eagle Scout and they recently turned 18 and got their Eagle Scout. Pretty much in that order. For those that don't know, 18 is the absolute cutoff. The absolute, you can't get your Eagle Scout a day after 18. And the boy on the left is like, I'm the good son. I gave you 4 extra days. So I'm praying to God, okay, God, what is it you want me to do next? As they moved on, did other things, whatever it is you want me to do, I'll do, you lead, I'll follow. Be careful what you ask for. Because I did not ask to be on any survival reality show, okay? I don't want to do this. I went down, I checked my email one morning, and I get this email. It says, this is Metal Flowers Media Casting Company. We're casting a brand new survival television show, prime time on Fox Network, pitting 10 of the top survival experts in the country against each other while dragging along a complete novice, somebody who's never even camped in their backyard before. And we think you'd be great. I'm like, cool. Which one am I? And let me ask you something. If you get an email out of the blue like that, what do you think? Help me out. It's spam, right? I'm waiting for him to send $6,000 to Nigeria. But it turned out to be real. Now, I found out that I was going to be the oldest competitor on the entire show. My wife is laughing at me. She's like, haha, you're the Tog. Tog, what's that? Token old guy. You know, I was going to be that guy. It's really cute. They got the demographic on there. That's really neat. That's sweet and everything. But he going to die. And then I found out they wanted me to wear my Scoutmaster uniform on the show, representing all the Boy Scouts of America. No pressure, right? So once again, it's really cute. They got the Scout on there. He looks so cute in his little neckerchief and all that. But he going to die. But you can't say, if you've been praying to God, Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. You lead, I'll follow. You can't say no because the 12th point of the Scout Law is, help me out. Reverent, thank you, absolutely. So there I was. Now what I'd like to do is I'd like to tell you a few scouting stories they didn't show on TV, the rest of the story. Would that be cool? Would that be all right? All right, good. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that so much. I really do. Okay, to begin with, I need to introduce you to my partner, Natalie. Oh, don't laugh. Come on. Pink and blue hair, tongue ring, fully tattooed up, atheist, admitted sex addict, online video gamer. But let's be fair. Let's be fair for a moment here. Y'all saw that boat coming up with all of them, and they were coming up, and we've got all of us survivalists lined up there to try to look as cool as we can, right, on TV. And she comes up, and she sees all of us, and you've got these special forces guys. You've got United States Air Force survival instructors. You've got a 4th-degree ninja black belt. You've got a mercenary who helped take out Saddam Hussein. And the fat old scoutmaster, hi! Can you imagine how she felt? It's like, no, please don't give me the old guy. Please don't give me the old guy. Oh, man. And let me ask you, why would the network do that? Why would they do that? That's entertainment. Absolutely, absolutely. They wanted to put opposites with each other. But what they didn't understand is we're scouts. This is what we do, right? We take kids from all different backgrounds, race, color, creed, religion, socioeconomic. We don't care about their past. It's our job to build their future. It's our job to take whatever they were then and build them. Here's my bottom line for scouting, to build honorable men and women. Is that right? Absolutely. And Baden-Powell, the founder of Scouting, taught us that there is good in every child. So let's look at Natalie for just a moment here. Natalie's smart, and Natalie is strong, and Natalie is strategic, and there's no way in the world I could win this show without Natalie. But we fought. Did y'all see that on the video clip? Did y'all see that? You didn't see anything because we were going at it. Now, to be fair, we're starving. I lost 25 pounds on this show, okay? Oh, don't worry, I found it again. It came back. But we're sleep deprived. We are stressed out. There's cameras in our face all of the time. And man, we are going at it. And right in the middle of that, we're going at it. Of course, all the cameras then are like, boo, this is good TV, right? And I go, wait a minute, wait. I know how to do this better. I've been to Wood Badge. I understand managing conflict. There's a few Wood Badgers out there. All right, so for you Wood Badgers out there, I'm going to ask you to help me out in just a second here, because I went back to Natalie. I said, I got great news for you. There's 4 stages of team development. They are forming, storming, norming, and performing. And we're right in the middle of number 2. She goes, yeah, we sure are. No, Natalie, I teach this to companies now, these 4 stages of team development. We want to perform. Too many people think that fighting is bad. Fighting is good. It's a step of team development if we do it with love and respect. That's what I teach, if we do it with love and respect. And listen, after that fight, we became the most winning team on the entire show. Now, people ask me all the time about the grub. Did y'all see that? Yeah. Now, see, I've eaten grubs in the Amazon jungle before. Believe it or not, they're pretty tasty. Believe it or not. This was not that. This was a grub. Cigar size, slimy, live, wriggling about, guts squirt out of your mouth when you chomp on it, grub. Enjoy your lunch. And people ask me, man, that's so nasty. How can you do that? That's disgusting. I tell them it's easy. I eat Boy Scout cooking. Thank you. My boys can make a pancake that's charbroiled black on the outside and raw on the inside. Is that anybody else? And then next, I have to tell you about my buddy, Ben. Hey, don't judge. We've been out there a while, okay? Now, first day in the jungle, first day on set, and we're all talking about it, all of the cast members, all of the survivalists and their partners, we're talking about, we don't want this to be one of those shows like out there, all that stabbing in the back and all that group voting and all that kind of stuff, right? And this guy, I went up to a group of them, I said right away, you're already doing it. And they're like, wait, what? You're already doing it. You're a group of former combat vets. Push comes to shove, you're going to do it. Now, right at that moment, Ben walks up behind my back. He wasn't dressed like that. It's okay. And he goes, I got your back. And he keeps walking. I got your back. I don't even know this guy. I got your back? Out of the blue. Now, but for the rest of the show, Ben had my back when it came time to build shelters. He comes up to me and goes, so you want to build a shelter together? I'm like, you are a United States Air Force survival instructor. I'm going, yes on this one. And for the rest of the show, we worked together. We'd forage food together. We'd take care of each other. Let me ask you something. What kind of a person would be that loyal? Help me out. A Boy Scout. A scout, absolutely. Ben was a scout. In fact, he was the senior patrol leader, the youth leader of the troop. These lessons, we teach them today. Stick with them forever. And now for the next one, I need to set this up. First of all, there's a story behind this. So we get into this place, and understand, again, we're starving, and we get there, there's this table full of food. Like, there's got to be a trick to this. And there was. We could taste it, but we couldn't eat it. Here's how. Table full of food over here. We've got scales over here. We've got a cargo net right here. Our novices are on this side of the cargo net. It's their job to pick up the food, hand it to us through the cargo net. We're on that side. We drop it on the scale. No big deal, right? Unless your hands are tied behind your back. Yeah. These guys are sadists. The people that make up these shows are terrible people. But that's okay, because we ID corn on the cob right away. We see corn on the cob there. Both of us are like, okay, that's the one right there. Easy to pick up, easy to pass. It weighs a lot. We got this, and we did. We are rocking it, man. We are in first place by far. Nobody's even close to us. We got this one in the bag, and this is important because if you lose these competitions, you're up to be kicked off, right? So we're jamming, we're rocking it, and the worst happened. Did y'all see me trip in that footage? Do you see that? Yeah. I didn't just stumble and fall on the ground. No. I hit a tree root. I can't put my hands out. That's okay. I stopped it with my face. It almost knocked me out. I hit another tree root. I'm writhing around on the ground, can barely think of my name, much less how to get up. Now, let me introduce you to the team captain for number 2. This is Jason. Jason is in second place, man, and he is excited. He's in second place, first place went down. He goes in for the win, right? But that's not how it happened. Jason did the unthinkable, y'all. Jason did the unthinkable. Jason stopped his race and helped me get up off the ground. Is that crazy? It is. Because understand, Jason's going for $500,000 too, right? Jason's representing an organization too. Jason wants to win. What kind of a person would be that trustworthy, loyal, helpful? Help me out. A scout. Jason was a scout. These lessons we're teaching them today last the rest of their lives. And then it comes down to the last day of the competition. This is it. Production tipped their hand. There would be partially about our novices making fire. Now, I am better than Brady, the Marine Scout sniper, not at very many things, right? He's better than me at a lot of things. I'm better than him at making fire. You know why? Because I'm a Boy Scout. We're pyromaniacs. We like to burn things. So I'm helping Claire, my competitor, on her fire building skills. No big deal. It's what we do. It's not a big deal at all. Production, Hollywood, is freaking out, okay? They pull me off to the side on one of the side interviews that they do on these kind of shows. They pull me off to the side and go, what are you even thinking? Because understand, millions of dollars went into the production of the show. Millions of dollars. It was years in the making. We've been immersed in the jungle for over 30 days. It comes down to this. Today, the Scoutmaster could win, and you're helping your competition? So that's exactly what I'm doing. It's exactly why I'm doing it. Because I am a scout. And as a scout, I took an oath. And that oath starts with on my honor. And there's nothing more important in the world than honor. And it goes on to say, to help other people win, help me out. At all times, not just when it's convenient for me. I just did what y'all taught me to do. because these lessons we're teaching these kids last the rest of their lives. And I love this last picture right here taken in the entire competition, because to me, this epitomizes what you guys are doing every single day. It's not about us. You're elevating kids like me. You're elevating kids who have no chance, who aren't expected to accomplish anything, who nobody believes in, including themselves. But you elevate them and teach them that the impossible is only impossible if they decide it is. Now, I'd like to tell you one more Scout story. Y'all got enough energy left for one more story? Yeah. Ah, I love you guys. Thank you, but I love that. Okay. Before I tell you this story, though, I got to tell you two things. Number one, for those who've been around and might know the ending of this story, I'm going to tell you the rest of the story, what you wouldn't hear except for from a family member, okay? For those who don't know how this story goes, I want to tell you not every story has a happy ending, but we can learn from it. Will that be okay? All right, thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, you remember that taller, better-looking brother, the more distinguished-looking one? Here's what he looks like now. This is my brother, Mike. Now, if you think I'm crazy with some of the stuff I like to do, Mike decided, get this, he was going to be an astronaut. Yeah, they don't have astronauts where I come from, right? Certainly not from my family. But he went for it. And guess what happened? Any guesses? Yeah, no, I don't think so. You wasn't even close. No. So now Mike understands he's not going to be an astronaut, right? Pick door number 2, right? No, he goes for it again. And guess what happened this time? Anybody help me out? No, I don't think so. But understand, going for it is a 2-year process. This isn't just write a postcard. Dear NASA, I'd like to be an astronaut. Thank you. No. 2-year process. Getting yet another elevated degree, working on your CV even more, going through all the psychological testing, physical testing, mental testing, all of that stuff, prayers, hopes, everything to be shot down again. And how many years has Mike been trying for it now? Wow, 4 years. Not every story has a happy ending, but we can learn from it. See, here's the problem. Mike was a scout too. Mike went to Philmont also. Mike did that same trek that I did. So he went for it again. Y'all ready for this? Here we go. Ooh, no, okay, wow, okay, that's all right, He went for it again. Here we go, ready? Oh, no, that's okay, it's okay. He went for it again. Here we go. Oh, man. Wow. How many years is this? Help me out. 10 years, an entire decade of going for it. And understand again, going for it, man, the emotions are high every single time. You are so hopeful. Prayers, this is it. Man, maybe this is the time I can do it. I've worked so hard to be shot down again. I can tell you at this point, Mike is devastated. We went through it with him as a family. He's devastated. He used to joke about not going near any high places because he's afraid what he might do. I don't think he was joking, guys. He was devastated. But he tried for it one more time. And this time, NASA chose 6. And he was number 7. Ooh. Oh, man. It gets worse. The guy across the street who hadn't been trying for it nearly as many times as Mike made it. Mike didn't. It got worse. It got worse when his boss at NASA called him up and said, Mike, you understand something now, right? We've been trying to tell you for 12 years, you're not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not going to grow up to be an astronaut. We've been trying to tell you for 12 years. You need to rework your plan because you're now too old. They don't allow astronauts at your age. It's no longer improbable. It's now impossible. The dream is done. You're too old. It got even worse. When he said, for 12 years, we've been trying to tell you, trying to give you the hint, start working your career for your career because you were never going to be an astronaut and you've been neglecting your career. As a result, you're about to lose it. You need to do an about face. Immediately work your career for your career or you're no longer going to be working here at NASA at all. That was it. That was it. To say he was devastated, doesn't even begin after all of these years of trying. Maybe he wasn't ever going to grow up to be anything. And when I found out, this is my brother, guys. When I found out that he was going to try for it one more time, even though it was impossible, not impossible, improbable, impossible, there's no way he could do it. I called him up and said, Mike, you need to understand something, brother. You need to understand something. I don't care. I don't care if you make it. I don't care. I could not care less. Because I couldn't be more proud of you than I am right now. And when he got the call, he knew right away what the answer was by the tone of the voice. And the guy said, Mike, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 14 years. 14 years, guys, of this one myopic goal. 14 years of prayer and prayer and prayer, and prayer is always answered. But sometimes the answer is no. 14 years of blood, sweat, and tears for this one myopic goal to be shot down in 2 words, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. When he was in grade school in McAllen, Texas, he got a book on space. In grade school, he wrote down there, someday I will touch the stars. To be shot down with 2 words, I'm sorry. What the guy said next literally dropped Mike down to his knees. The guy said, Mike, I'm sorry we tried to tell you. Come clear out your desk. You no longer work here. Because you've been selected to be a United States astronaut. Is that amazing? You can clap for that. You taught Mike the impossible is only impossible if you decide it is. See, Mike didn't only go up once, guys. Mike went up 3 times in space. He's now number 12 in U.S. history for number of hours walking in space. The last time he went up for 6 months as the commander of the International Space Station. Is that awesome? While he was up there, he recorded a video for scouts from the space station. Would y'all like to see it? All right, yeah, here we go.
Greetings. My name is Mike Fossum. I'm an Eagle Scout, a Scoutmaster, and an astronaut. Special greetings from the International Space Station. This is a greeting to the scouts, the scouters, and the staff out there. I really like going out there and having a lot of fun with my friends in the troop and other troops from the area, and adventures. Adventures around the corner, adventures out in the woods, adventures along the waterline, and really just enjoying everything it had to offer. One of my favorite merit badges that I took one summer as a scout was the astronomy merit badge. I loved looking up at the stars on campouts and stuff. Now was my chance to really begin to learn more about them. It really piqued my interest in huge ways. I spent a lot of nights out there under the stars sharing my love for the stars and astronomy. Somewhere along the line, it kind of woke up a dream that was in the back of my mind. I didn't want to just study and learn about those stars. I wanted to reach out and touch them. You never can tell where your adventure might lead, how it might make a difference in your life. Don't worry about that too much, though, because really, it's about fun, friends, and adventure. I'll see you on down the trail. Mike Fossum signing out from the International Space Station.
That's my brother, y'all. You guys remember that, you can tell I've been up north a while. I said you guys instead of y'all. You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember that guy that said we'd never grow up to be anything? Y'all remember him? We do too. And that's okay. It's okay. It really is. We know who he is. He's still there in McAllen, Texas. But he probably has to bite his tongue every day when he's listening to the radio, watching TV, something like that, and see something about Michael E. Fossum. Whoops. What happened? There we go. Michael E. Fossum Middle School in McAllen, Texas. Is that awesome? Yes. So that's it. That's our scouting story. And I know it's just one of millions and millions of scouting stories going on all around the world right now, and certainly right here. But it's one I know the best because it's my story. So these are the kids of today. These are the kids in the Panhandle areas. You look at those bright faces. You wonder what their future is going to be, what their challenges will be. Who will tell them never to believe in themselves? Remember that guy that made fun of me on that video? Y'all remember him? What he didn't realize, I've been made fun of all my life. All my life. But you taught me something. You taught me one last thing here today. Never, ever underestimate the power of a scout. God bless you all. Thank you for changing the world. God bless you.
Thank you, Terry. That was absolutely amazing. We have one more piece to this, and then we're going to let you get back to work. I want to say a special thank you to Terry. What an amazing program, some amazing stories. But I also want to talk to you about what you can do to help scouting in our local area to be the hero Terry talked about. The good news is that scouting is alive and well in our communities. We have 2 local council camps for scouts to use year-round, Camp Don Harrington and MK Brown. I want you to stop and think about something. Scouting programs are designed to take the youth of today and mold them into the leaders and the world changers of tomorrow. Scouting comes along in a person's life when they need it the most. I'm very proud to say that of the money that we raise here, 90% goes to directly support scouting programs and services. Our council makes sure that we invest all we can in our young people. This year, the cost to operate is $350 for every scout. $350 is kind of that magic number. This breaks down to $1.12 a day for the rest of 2023. This helps cover maintenance at both camps, paid leaders who provide scouting to underprivileged youth, and who support our Scout Service Center. We continue to see more requests for assistance for underprivileged youth every year. Our local council spent over $57,000 just last year for books, registration fees, uniforms, camp fees, and program supplies for these well-deserving youth. Our council is dedicated to making sure that no child is turned away for financial reasons. Some of you can give the $350. Many of you can probably give more. I'd like to thank everyone for being here, but I'd like to ask you now to take out your donation card. Looks a lot like this. If you remove that from the program that's on your table, when you take that card out, I want you to think about how important it is to invest in our next generation. You can put your donation for whichever amount is right for you. If there's not a big enough number, please feel free to write one in. You can be billed annually, semi-annually, monthly. You can include a check. You can put your credit card on there. We take pretty much everything but gold bullion on this one. But this is an important ask for us. This isn't just about raising money. This is about raising the next generation of leaders. Many of you work for companies that will match your individual gift. If you do, please take a moment and indicate that on your pledge letter. Then help the scouts out by going back and filling out the necessary information either online or whatever form needs to be submitted while it's still fresh on your mind today. If you go ahead right now and take a minute to fill out those pledge cards, I would appreciate it. I'll give you a moment. As you're filling those out, I do want to say a special thank you from me. This is my second year as a chair for the Good Scout Lunch. You guys have done amazing. We have an amazing turnout, and it just shows how much this community really does love today's youth and tomorrow's leaders. The Texas Panhandle is known for its resilience as well as for its commitment to helping other people succeed. We will have our table chairs or table hosts taking up those cards. So if you're a table host, if you don't mind collecting the cards, we would appreciate that. I want to say a special thank you from all of the people who put this together. We worked for months to get this right, but I want to make sure and also thank our sponsors. Our Eagle sponsor, Baptist Community Services, they've done amazing in supporting us for years, so please give them a round of applause. Our life sponsors, I Am Annabelle Christner II Foundation, Mr. and Mrs. Joe Street, the Waite and Genevieve Phillips Foundation, Street Toyota, Neely Craig and Walton, and First Bank Southwest. Please give them a round of applause. Our star sponsors, Sprouse Schrader Smith, Valero McKee Refinery, Bill and Poppy McCarty, and Gary Paul Moore. Please give them a round of applause. I want to say thank you to our special event sponsors, XL Energy, Tyson, Street Toyota, A&B Asset Management Charitable Foundations, United Way of Amarillo and Canyon, and the NRA Foundation. Please give them a round of applause. And lastly, a special thank you to our first-class sponsors listed in your program, and to our many table hosts, and for those of you who are giving today. Numerous planning meetings have gone into making today's lunch a success, so let's give the planning committee members and all of those who contributed a round of applause as well. Scouting is incredibly important to our community. Just like you heard as the scouts explained, we increased the number of meals that we provided when we were bringing in food by 4,000 meals this year. 4,000 families that didn't have to go hungry. It has been an important part of this community, not just this year, but since its inception. Our job is to continue to nurture it and to nurture the young men and women that it produces. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for filling out those pledge forms and for giving this year. Thank you for the honor of being the Good Scouts Chair Lunch, and I wish you the very, very best. Today's meeting is officially adjourned, and please give to Scouting.